Today, we are giving 2 real business tasks to 4 vibe coding products: AutoCoder, Lovable, Mado, and Manus. The first task is a research management system for a securities firm. The second task is to build a restaurant website using information from Google Maps. This test follows a few fixed rules. In case 1, all 4 products use the same English prompt and start from a blank project. In case 2, all 4 products use the same restaurant and the same Google Maps share link. I will record the time from the initial input to the first result, along with any extra setup required, such as whether users need to obtain and configure their own API key. After both cases are complete, we will score each product across for dimensions, ease of use, generation speed, first version quality, and feature completeness. Then we will decide which product is the best place to start. Without further ado, let's move on to case 1. The first task is a research management platform for a securities firm. The system includes 4 user roles. Each research report moves through 4 stages, and clients can only view published reports available under their subscription tier. This is roughly the prompt we will be using. Now I will paste it into all 4 products. I will also start the timer at the same time. After some time, all 4 products have finished generating. Let's go through the results one by one. First up is AutoCoder. Let's start with the client side. I first browse the home page, navigation, and report list. Then I open a report detail page to confirm that users can move from the list into the full report. The client's main task is reading research reports, so this section focuses on whether the entry points are clear and whether the report list connects properly to the detail pages. Overall, AutoCoder created a fairly complete reading journey for the client. Next, I switch to the research analyst role. The analyst is responsible for managing research reports. I first browse the main pages, then open report management and use the built-in filters to narrow down the report list. After filtering, I open an existing report, change one field, and save it. This shows that the system does more than display reports. Internal users can also maintain existing content. Next, I create a new report. I enter the test information, save it as a draft, and then click Submit for review. The report goes through 2 stages here. The analyst first saves it as a draft, then submits it for administrator review. Next, I switch to Super Admin to confirm whether the administrator can receive the submitted report. Once inside Super Admin, I find the report I just submitted, open it, review the content, and approve it. After the review is complete, I click Publish to release the report officially. Now I return to the client side, reopen the report list, and look for the report I just created. The report now appears on the client side, and users can open its detail page to read it. This completes an end-to-end report workflow. The analyst creates and submits the report, the super admin reviews and publishes it, and the client views the final content. This is more informative than simply showing the home pages for 4 different roles. It shows that the roles are not just visually separated. Reports can actually move from one role to another. Finally, I switch to the Relationship Manager role. I first review the existing client list, open one client profile, change a field, and save it. Next, I add a new client, enter the test information, and submit it. After saving, I return to the client list to confirm the new record. This verifies the Relationship Manager's basic workflow, including viewing clients, editing existing profiles, and adding new clients. Looking at case 1 as a whole, AutoCoder created working entry points for all 4 roles. The client reads reports, the analyst creates and manages them, the super admin reviews and publishes them, and the Relationship Manager maintains client data. The most important result is that the report completed a full cycle from creation and submission to review, publication, and client access. Client records could also be managed independently. AutoCoder's advantage is not simply that it generated several pages. It placed multi-role collaboration and a real business workflow inside one system that users could continue operating. Next is Lovable. Because Lovable completed the core case 1 workflow much like AutoCoder, I will not repeat the responsibilities of all 4 roles. Instead, I will quickly review the actual results. Let's start with the client side. Both the report list and detail pages are accessible. Users can open the research content and complete the basic reading flow. Next, I switch to the analyst role. The report management page is available, and existing reports can be viewed and edited. I then create a new report, save it as a draft, and submit it for administrator review. Now I switch to Super Admin. The administrator can find the submitted report, review it, and publish it. After publishing, I return to the client side and confirm that the report now appears in the list of content available to users. Finally, I check the Relationship Manager. This role can view existing clients, edit client profiles, and add a new client, so the basic client management workflow works. However, Lovable showed a clear error when I tested whether the super admin could change the role assigned to an existing account. I tried to change my own account role from client to analyst. When I returned to my account, my role was still client, which shows that multi-role permission management still has problems. Overall, Lovable's business workflow is fairly complete, but in backend functions such as account role switching, the action shown on the page did not match the actual result. Next is Mado. I start with a quick look at the client side. The report list and detail pages are accessible, and users can open the report content without any obvious problems in the basic reading flow. Then I switch to the research analyst role. The analyst can create a new research report, save it as a draft, and submit it for review. Up to this point, Mado's report creation workflow is usable. The problem appears in the super admin role. After entering the administrator page, I could not find any ready-to-use report data or an entry point for creating reports in report management. Report creation mainly exists on the analyst side, but the administrator side does not present a clear pending report that can be processed. This causes the report workflow to break at this point. The analyst can create and submit a report, but the super admin does not receive that data smoothly, making it difficult to continue with review and publication. Next, I check the relationship manager. This role also lacks ready-to-use client data. The administrator account only shows my test account, and that client is not assigned to the relationship manager by default. I could not find a suitable editing entry point either, and the RM side cannot actively assign the client to itself. So this is not simply a missing button. The necessary connection between roles is absent. The administrator cannot assign clients, and the relationship manager cannot take ownership of them, leaving the workflow unable to continue. Mado's client pages and the analyst report creation flow are basically functional, and the interface is relatively clean. However, for the super admin and relationship manager roles, the pages exist but the business workflows are not fully connected. Mado also became stuck during the command execution stage of generation. I had to stop it manually and enter continue before it resumed and completed the rest of the generation. So Mado's most obvious problem in this round is not whether the pages can open, but whether the roles can successfully hand work off to one another. Finally, let's look at Manus. The first 3 runs did not produce a usable result. The first run produced a 404 page. Later attempts generated some content, but the page styling still failed to load correctly. So on the 4th run, I recorded the full process and captured the final result. After the 4th generation attempt, the first thing I see is a fairly polished account selection page. It provides accounts for the administrator, research analyst, relationship manager, and client, so the role structure initially looks fairly complete. But the situation changes after I select an account and enter the system. The page inside the system is clearly missing its CSS. The content exists, but the layout, spacing, and button styles do not render properly, making the product unusable in a normal way. I continue clicking the page buttons, but the site returns to the original account selection screen. Regardless of which role I choose, the site loops between the account selection screen and the unstyled page, so I cannot actually access the corresponding workspace. Under these conditions, I cannot continue testing client report reading, analyst report creation, super admin review and publication, or relationship manager client management. As a result, Manus cannot pass the core acceptance test in case 1. Okay, case 1 is now fully complete. AutoCoder and Lovable both completed most of the core roles and report workflow, although Lovable showed at least one clear error during testing. Mado's client and analyst roles are basically usable, but the admin and RM lack data connections, leaving report review and client assignment incomplete. Manus had more serious problems and failed to produce a usable application in all 4 attempts. That brings case 1 to a close for now. Now we move on to the second task, generating a local restaurant website from a Google Maps business link. For this test, I chose Tex BBQ Co., a local barbecue restaurant in Texas, United States. A Google Maps page usually includes the business name, address, phone number, reviews, images, and other information. So the case 2 website must use real information rather than inventing its own details. I was surprised to find that AutoCoder provides a dedicated Google Maps entry point for this scenario. The process is very short. Click Share on the Google Maps business page, copy the link, and paste it into AutoCoder. It can then identify the restaurant name, address, phone number, and other details on its own. Lovable, Manus, and Mado all require additional Google API key configuration. Lovable can use an officially provided API key during the website prototype stage, but users still need to configure their own key before deploying the site to production. This directly increases the difficulty for users without a technical background. So before starting case 2, I created an API key in Google Cloud and configured all 3 platforms in advance. This is the prompt we will be using. Case 2 focuses on 3 areas. First, can the product accurately read business information from Google Maps, such as the name, address, and phone number, while avoiding invented details such as menus and prices? Second, can it organize that information into a usable website rather than a simple introduction page? Third, do functions such as phone links, Google Maps buttons, and social media links work properly? One limitation needs to be noted: the Google Maps listing for Tex BBQ Co. does not provide menu information. As a result, none of the 4 platforms will display a real menu. Let's start with AutoCoder. Starting with the website's Hero section, the home page clearly displays the restaurant name. Clicking the Hours and Location button takes the user directly to the Address and Opening Hours section at the bottom of the page. Next is the Gallery section, which contains real images retrieved from Google Maps. Clicking an image also lets the user continue browsing the gallery. The Review section features 5 Google Maps user reviews, and their content displays correctly. These include real diner feedback, ratings, and user information. Clicking Get Directions also opens the real Google Maps business page. In addition to the address, opening hours, and phone number, the bottom of the page includes a working link to the restaurant's Facebook page. Looking at the public-facing website, AutoCoder completed most of the core modules needed for a local restaurant site. Next, I open AutoCoder's backend. It is important to note that the backend was not included in the shared prompt, so it is not a required part of the test. The backend homepage displays most of the restaurant data, including ratings, reviews, images, and menu content. The review management page allows individual reviews to be edited, saved, and deleted. The image management page also provides editing controls for gallery images. Across both the front end and back end, AutoCoder completed the path from a Google Maps link to a restaurant website and then to back-end data management. Its main advantage is that it generated a back-end management structure in addition to the front end. Next is Lovable. Let's start with the Heroes section. The page displays the restaurant name, location, rating, and other information. Next, I check the address and opening hours. The page provides clear entry points, allowing users to quickly find the restaurant's location, phone number, and opening hours. Next, I move to the gallery. Lovable can retrieve the restaurant images from Google Maps and display them correctly on the website. The Review section also displays correctly, with no obvious placeholder content or fabricated information. Next, I test the page interactions. When I click Get Directions or View on Google Maps, the preview environment shows a blocked connection message and says that Google refused to connect. Although both buttons are present, they cannot open the external page correctly in the current environment. This is more likely a restriction on external Google pages within the preview environment, so it would need to be confirmed separately after deployment. Lovable did not generate a backend in this test, so the website mainly consists of front-end pages. Overall, Lovable successfully retrieved the Google Maps business information. The main issue is that the Google Maps links cannot be opened, while core website content such as images and reviews displays correctly. Next is Mado. The restaurant name, location, and other information display correctly in the Hero section. Compared with the previous two platforms, Mado's visual design is simpler and relies mainly on a solid brown background. Next, I continue down to the restaurant information. The address, phone number, and opening hours all display correctly. The Gallery section retrieves real images from Google Maps. The Review section also displays the business reviews correctly. Next, I test the page interactions. The Google Maps links all work properly. This time, Mado did not fall into another command failure loop and successfully produced an operable website. Overall, Mado's strength is accurate data retrieval. Its most obvious weakness is the limited visual presentation. The page is usable, but its design quality and content hierarchy still fall behind AutoCoder and Lovable. Finally, let's look at Manus. The basic information is fairly accurate, and the page structure is relatively complete. However, the background image in the Hero section does not come from the restaurant's Google Maps listing. It is AI-generated visual content. 2 images in the gallery are also not original business photos. This affects the credibility of the website's information. For a local restaurant website, images should help customers understand the real dining environment. Manus displays 3 reviews correctly. Although the number is relatively small, the Google Maps links also work properly. Manus's main issue is content credibility. AI-generated images are mixed into the Hero and Gallery sections, and the site displays fewer reviews. Finally, I will add one more modification test. Since Google Maps did not provide a restaurant menu, I created a test menu PDF and gave the same file and the same editing instruction to All for Products. All for Products support multimodal editing through direct file uploads, so the main question is which one can present the most complete menu while preserving the original visual style. All for Products successfully read the PDF and added the menu to the website. AutoCoder produced a highly polished result with accurate menu content and a strong match to the site's original visual style. Lovable's result is also clear and complete. Mado completed the task without functional problems, but the design is relatively basic. Manus also extracted the menu content, but it presented the categories as a 2-column accordion. Opening one panel stretches the entire grid row, turning the adjacent collapsed panel into a large empty card and creating an obvious layout problem. At this point, Case 2 is also complete. AutoCoder offers the simplest workflow. Users can paste the share link directly, and it also creates an additional admin backend. Lovable has a relatively complete front end, although its buttons currently cannot open external pages. Mado is functional, but the page design is fairly basic. Manus performs much better than it did in Case 1, but it mixes AI-generated images into the site. Finally, we can move on to the final scoring. Let's review the 4 scoring dimensions: ease of use, generation speed, first version quality, and feature completeness. Let's start with ease of use. AutoCoder performs very well in Case 1, and in Case 2 it accepts a Google Maps business link directly without extra Google Cloud API configuration. It receives 5 stars for ease of use. Lovable has a clear interface, but Case 2 requires a connector or API to access Google Maps. It receives 4 stars. Mado requires users to configure their own API, and the generation process can become stuck in a loop that requires a manual continue command. It receives 3 stars. Manus failed to produce a usable result across multiple Case 1 runs. It receives 2 stars. Next is generation speed. AutoCoder covers a broader range of features, but it takes 15 minutes in Case 1 and around 13 minutes in Case 2. It receives 3 stars. Lovable is relatively fast in both cases and receives 4 stars. Mado's generation times vary significantly between the 2 cases, and it also becomes stuck during generation. It receives 3 stars. Manus generates relatively quickly in Case 2, but its repeated Case 1 failures show limited stability. It receives 2.5 stars. Next is first version quality. AutoCoder's page style is more distinctive, its overall information is relatively complete, and some pages have a high information density. It receives 4 stars. Lovable has a very clear UI and page hierarchy, with strong visual identity. It receives 4 stars. Mado retrieves accurate data, but its visual presentation is relatively simple. It receives 3 stars. Manus's Case 2 page looks relatively complete but includes AI-generated images, while its Case 1 page suffers from missing CSS. It receives 2.5 stars. Finally, we have feature completeness. AutoCoder completes the multi-role report workflow in Case 1, the main front-end interactions in Case 2, and an additional back-end structure. It receives 5 stars. Apart from the role switching bug, Lovable's Case 1 workflows are relatively complete. Its Case 2 front-end is also basically usable, but external Google Maps links do not open in preview. It receives 3 stars. Mado's Case 2 front-end is basically complete, but its Case 1 report review and client assignment workflows contain role logic problems. It receives 3 stars. Manus produces a working case to cite, but it fails to generate a usable Case 1 application, so the core business workflows cannot be tested. It receives 2 stars. Overall, AutoCoder receives a final rating of 4.5 stars. Lovable receives around 3.5 stars. Mado and Manus receive 3 stars and 2.5 stars respectively. AutoCoder's advantage is its lower input friction, since it can process a Google Maps business link directly. Lovable is better suited to quickly generating visually clear front-end prototypes. Mado can handle lightweight websites, but it still needs improvement when dealing with complex role logic. Manus can generate pages for simpler website scenarios, but it lacks stability and does not handle complex business requirements well. If you simply want to build a front-end website quickly, I would recommend AutoCoder and Lovable. If your requirements involve multi-role data flows and back-end management, AutoCoder would be my first choice.